let's go ahead and start with any questions from the last couple days that anyone has that are lingering that we need to answer before we begin.
Okay.
Yes, I have a question
Sure.
in reference to, we did so much, and even though I was taking notes, I got a little lost
Mhm.
when I did download the app, but when we was out there, and I don't know what it's even called, but we went out, and I know he was saying we need to get a GoDaddy
Mhm.
for our name. That part lost me when we went, and I guess we was building the site for others to see.
Yeah.
And
So getting a GoDaddy domain with your name is really just best practice. It's not a requirement,
okay,
but a lot of agents will go ahead and buy the domain that has their name so that they own it.
okay,
Sometimes they won't use it. They'll just buy it and own it. And some people, even that aren't agents, will go in and buy up their domain name, their kids' names, things like that, just so that because it's the internet, someone can't like Google them or have their website with their name and be someone else, off doing things elsewhere. So it's a best practice. It's not a requirement, but if you were to buy a vanity URL from GoDaddy, which is what those are called, then you could have GoDaddy mask it with your KW email or website, so that if somebody went to YvetteGriffin.com, it would also take them to your KW website.
okay.
Does that help clear it up a little?
Yes, and I guess I was looking at some of the videos, and I can go back and look at the videos to slow it down and speed it up as I need it. Okay.
Yep.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I was told by another agent that they were using the Twilio, but that they were having all kinds of issues with it recently. And is that like everybody is because of where it's coming out of, where she told me it was coming out of? They're saying that there's multiple issues.
So I don't know, without knowing the specific issues that she's talking about. I use Twilio to communicate with our brokerage and all of our agents, and I'm not having any problems with it.
Okay. Okay. Because she said to me, just don't hold off on doing that, Kim, just because I'm having issues because of, I guess it comes out of Ukraine.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no biggie. I just wondered.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, James.
So we went over how to pull birthdays and calendars out of Facebook. And I think the instructor was talking about how to, download Chrome, go to settings, go to extensions, then go to download. I couldn't figure out how to get to, I didn't see the download button, and I couldn't figure out how to get to the actual birthdays from Facebook.
Okay, so that is an extension through Chrome. So you do have to have Chrome to do that.
Right, I downloaded Chrome, and I
Okay.
saw the little jigsaw puzzle piece. I clicked on that. Then I went back to Facebook. I went through the settings. It was settings and privacy. Then I went to settings, and then I was trying to find the calendar for birthdays. I just couldn't figure that piece out.
Okay, so that is part of the extension itself. Hang on, let me move everyone's faces so I can go over. So if you go to the extension, it should just show up in that little puzzle piece. Once you get it and download it, you can click on it. It's going to scrub your Facebook file, and then you just want to make sure that you click over here and do download the dates as a CSV file. I think that's all they were saying, is you need to make sure you're downloading it, and you're downloading it as a CSV.
Yeah, that screen didn't come up. It came up, it had like 6 different windows that I could click on. It didn't come up as this download calendar.
So I would say go ahead and make note of who your Market Center tech trainer is and ask them, and they can do some one-on-one with you.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else?
Mm.
Awesome. So let's jump in. First of all, my name is Wendy Binder. I'm a Market Center Tech Trainer down in Charlottesville, Virginia. And I will be filling in today. We are going to be looking at designs and campaigns. So first we're going to create our marketing collateral in designs. Then we're going to push out our marketing collateral through campaigns. This is the list of your Market Center Tech Trainers. So make note of who your tech trainer is so that if you have questions or need one-on-one help, like James, we can get you connected with them. All right. You guys had action steps from yesterday, building out tags, building out your contact import form for all your contacts, sharing your mobile app with 10 people. We had a couple questions around that, so I assume you guys are doing that. That's great. And let's see, adding contacts and addresses and launching the biweekly neighborhood nurture. Does anybody have questions about any of those steps?
No, I didn't do the, to send out a newsletter thing or the neighborhood thing yet. I didn't do
The
that.
neighborhood nurture. And that's fine. Just put it on the list. It's a great way to stay top of mind with your people. And most of you are probably in areas that are less rural. And so there are more neighborhoods to include. So that's great. So today we're looking at designs first, and designs is our version of Canva. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with Canva, but Canva is a platform that's out there. You can get a free version and you can build marketing collateral. If you have never been in Canva, I guarantee that you have seen things designed on Canva. And we basically have our version of Canva directly in Command, and because it's our version and we are real estate specific, it connects directly into the MLS. So you can pull listings immediately into your marketing collateral. And it is constantly updated by professionals doing marketing. So there's a lot of really clean, sharp designs. The other advantage that I personally love about using designs over Canva is that designs has unique images that we can use that are free to use that will not show up on every other real estate agent's marketing collateral, because any agent who's not with KW is mostly stuck in Canva doing their designs, and Canva has the same 5 houses that you'll see again and again. I actually put together a little list of them, and I feel like you guys might recognize some of these. Does everyone recognize this house? It's on everyone's marketing.
Mhm.
Here's the same version, but it's the sunset. I can't tell you how many times I see these homes pop up. So what using designs is going to do is give you the ability to have really unique marketing material that's going to pop and stand out. So we're going to jump right in. We're going to go ahead and go into Command, agent.kw.com. And from there, we're going to go down third from the bottom. The little artist palette is your designs applet. Okay. I have to keep moving everyone's faces around. So now we're in designs. Yours might look a little different. If you have not yet created a design, you're not going to have anything in your first page. These are here because these are designs that I have done in the past. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go up to the top right and hit create design. So the first thing we're going to start with today is a quick little video. If you are doing this and following along at home, this will be a really quick, easy little bit of marketing collateral that you can create. So we're going to click on video. And this is a very specific video that KW has put together based on a neighborhood. So what you're going to want to do is plug in a neighborhood. You're welcome to cheat and use my neighborhood if you want to, but you're better off finding a neighborhood near you. And keep in mind that this is tied into every MLS in all of the US and Canada. And so there are a lot of neighborhoods that are being included. So you might have to put more than just Belmont, for example. So I put Belmont, Charlottesville, Virginia. Here it is, and I'm going to choose that neighborhood. And then just hit next. And it's going to automatically pull in market statistics. Now, these may not be perfect every time. I can guarantee you that the average days on market for a home in Belmont is not 630 days. You may sometimes want to pull up your MLS and fact check these. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to get something out there. So if I were to, let's say, not fact check this and just put it out, and somebody commented and say, I live in Belmont and there's no way it's 630 days on the market. That's just a great opportunity for me to have a conversation. So don't go too crazy over being the perfectionist on these things, but you want to get it out. For today, I'm just going to say average home on days on market is 30, get it a little bit closer to being correct. Yes, Yvette, you have a question?
Yes. Okay. I went to design. I'm a little behind. I went to design and I do not see when you said create video.
It's
Well,
going to be create design. It's a button in the top right corner.
Okay.
And when you hit create design, you're going to get like a pop-up with 4 options, and video is the option all the way on the right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So now we have neighborhood features, top 3. There are other options. So if you see something in here and you're like, whoa, that's not accurate at all. Or if it says something like activism and you think, oh, I want to cool that down a little bit, put something else, you can choose other things from this list. You can choose only 3 and you have to have 3. So top 3 says right there, and you have to have it included. Right below that, we have to drop down with the agent information. You just want to check and make sure that that's correct. It's going to pull stuff in from your marketing profile. And then your market center and brokerage information, same thing. You want to make sure that your logo is there. You want to make sure that your owner statement is there. Each office is independently owned and operated. If you haven't memorized that yet, you will, because it has to be on everything. And then when you're done, just hit next. And it's going to curate this little marketing video for you. It's going to take up to 10 seconds, sometimes a little longer. It is pulling all this stuff together, so we have to be patient. But after it creates the video, you can hit play and view it, and this is what it looks like. That's cute, right?
Yes.
Took literal seconds to create, and it's something that you can do and focus on kind of multiple neighborhoods and go through and get your video that way. So you would hit save, and then it's going to save into your library, and you can post it out from there to your Facebook through campaigns.
I have a silly question.
I love silly questions.
Okay, I'm really big about branding, my colors. That video, if we go in the design area and we put my my colors that I want to work around, will that video also do that?
So not for that video, no. That one is really hard coded as a template, and the numbers, you know, price, days on market, those are really the only things that are editable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I
But
love
that
it.
leads,
That's good.
yeah. And you can have just one neighborhood that you're focusing on and do one every week, or a couple neighborhoods and sprinkle them in. It's just, you know, in the fight to find out what you're going to post on your Facebook page to keep it current and keep those posts coming, it's a great opportunity to just throw something in and throw something together really quickly.
Yeah, and I found too that there's several other realtors, obviously, who are doing the same thing. They're not like the neighbor, but the area.
Mhm.
So even if you see that and you write the numbers down, if it's for that Monday, you can turn around and pop it in like in 2 seconds and have that out there, even though it's not a quote, a neighborhood, but it would be the town. So I thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, yeah. So you had asked about your palette of colors, your branding colors.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna look at that next. There's a space in WeBrand where you can set up all of your marketing assets. So you can have your own branded colors, your logos, all of that stuff get set up in there. In order to get to that space, you have to go into create a design first. So we're gonna go next. We did video, we're gonna go to print next. We're gonna choose to create a design, and we're gonna choose print, and then hit continue. It's going to redirect us into WeBrand, which is the third-party plugin that we're using for our designs applet. And from here, now that we're in here, on the left-hand side are going to be all the different templates that we can use. And across the top, we see a couple things. So images is going to be stock photos from Shutterstock. Your designs is going to be all the designs that you've created. You can come in here, create folders, and organize your designs if you want to. This is also incidentally where you would go to import a PDF if you wanted to make a PDF editable. It's something that we can do here. So if you have a design that you created in Canva that you really like, but you want to pull in some of the MLS elements that Designs has to offer, you can actually just drag and drop that design right here, and it will pick it apart and turn it into an editable PDF. So you can go in and move things around and help to get that edited. Assets is where we're going to look right now. And this is where you can create your color palettes, your fonts, anything that you want to use to build your brand. So because we're with KW, we get to build our own brands as agents. And that can be as minimal as you are your brand and you are, you know, Wendy Binder Realtor. This is me. This is my brand. I'm sticking with the KW colors and the KW marketing because it has power behind it, because it is a large national company and those colors are recognized. Or I can be building a team and want to have my own color palette that has nothing to do with the KW red and gray. Or as an individual agent, I can get a logo that's, you know, teal and hot pink. And those can be my colors. And so this is where you can really take advantage of that and get your marketing set so that your brand is consistent. No matter what your brand is going to be, no matter what your brand colors are going to be, you want to have a consistency to that. That's where brand recognition comes in. So if you wanted to add a color palette, you could just come over here to add color palette. It's going to pop up another one of these grids, and you can go and just add colors individually. Now, if you want, and you're just starting from scratch, you can drag this around and find just the right color that you want, just the right red or just the right hot pink, just the right purple. Or if you're working with a marketing company, like somebody at Fiverr that's designing a brand logo for you, you can get the color codes from them. So we've got RGB, HSL, and hex codes here. And you can just toggle between those to find the exact colors that you're looking for. And you can add up to 6 different colors in your color palette. And then you can also name your color palette. Similarly, you can go here and upload images. This is a great place to put all your headshots, all your lifestyle shots. And any extra logos, if you have team logos or anything like that, you can put them in here. They can also go in your logos space. Text is kind of pre-filled text. So things that you end up typing a lot, you can put in here and they can be ready to go and just plug and play into your designs. Logos is logos. Elements, if you really are into graphic design, you really want to get deep in this, you can upload your own elements, stickers, shapes, emojis, things like that. Videos is where you can upload videos if you have like maybe a quick 5-second intro video that you like to plug into your emails or something like that. And then files, which is kind of where everything else can live. But mostly where you're going to spend your time is thinking of some palettes if you want to brand your own colors, and then images and logos where you want to get all of your marketing stuff uploaded. You know, it will pull from the marketing profile, but if you remember in the marketing profile, there's one spot for a headshot, there's one spot for a team logo, and you might end up with, you know, multiple headshots and multiple logos, and this is where you can put all those extra ones that you can pull in. Any questions about this section? And if you have them, just feel free to unmute and just interrupt me, guys. We're real casual here. All right. So those are your assets, marketing assets. We're going to go back over to templates here, and we're just going to take a look at some of the things that are available to us. So because we chose to do print, the designs that are available to us are going to be a little different than if we chose to do social. So first thing we see here is flyers for listings. They also have buyer collateral, lead generation collateral. We're going to look at a couple of these, but I really encourage you to just spend some time after today's class going through designs and just getting into this section and clicking through and seeing everything that's available. Across the top here in any section, you can find the style that you're looking for. So maybe you're looking for bifolds and you want to find a bifold, or maybe you know you want a trifold, or maybe you know you just want a single page flyer. Maybe you're looking for door hangers, whatever it might be, you can file, edit it down up here by choosing one of these. So today we're going to look at the buyer presentation because that's something that everyone should be putting together and getting going. But before we do that, I just want to show you guys something that exists that a lot of people don't realize exists. And I think it's just the bee's knees. If you go under print into lead generation and client love, and then you go into booklets, most of client love is a lot of thank you letters and things like that. But look at this. There is a coloring book that you can print out, brand to yourself, and have for any of your buyers who have kids in tow. It's a really great activity for them to do either while you're showing homes or at home, and it's branded to you. So I just think it's so cute. And I like to let people know that it exists. We're not going to spend any time editing to this today. It really only requires that you pop your DBA logo in on these pages. It's really quick and simple, but just know that that exists in case you want to use it with any of your clients. And we are going to jump in for real to the buyer presentation. So it's underneath buyer in the dropdown. And you've got 5 options for a buyer presentation. Now, they're all basically the same presentation once you get into the inside. What you're looking at right now is just the cover photos. There we go. So these are what the covers look like. When you're creating your buyer presentation or your listing presentation, just keep in mind that if you are going to be physically printing them, you may want to avoid things that have a lot of dark backgrounds in them because that is a lot of ink to stick on a page. So we're just going to choose this one for today. If you guys notice, this is a fun little trick in designs. Anything that has multiple pages, if you hover over it, it's going to show you that it has multiple pages. And on the right-hand side, you can just hover your mouse over that and it'll give you this little side arrow. And you can flip through and see all the pages of that design before you choose to use it. So that's just a good trick to know. We're just going to go ahead and select to use this one. Give it a few minutes to load up. All right, so here it is. This little guide will often pop up and walk you through, showing you where everything is. You can always hit skip if you don't need it. But here's the cover page to our design. We can only look at one page at a time in this viewer. All the pages are right to the right in this column. And so I can toggle between the pages here and see what is there to offer. Now, all of these buyer presentations have a combination of what we call evergreen material and editable material. So some of the pages in here are ready to go. You don't really need to add much to them. You can go through and, you know, add in a couple sentences if you want, but if you want to just leave them as they are, that's fine. Some of the pages in here need a lot of editing. And some of the pages in here, like page 1, isn't supposed to be in your final buyer presentation. So make sure that you don't leave this in there. This is your instructions page on how to use this manual. So here is an opportunity. If you were doing this with buyer, you could stick a nice home in there, stick their name on there, make it personalized to them. If you don't want to have to personalize a buyer presentation for every single buyer, you can skip those pages and just stick with the meat and potatoes of the whole thing. So we're going to scroll down and look at some of this evergreen material. This is one of those. You know, it's still completely editable. So if I wanted to go in and edit this paragraph and add something in, I can do that. If I want to change the way that this title reads, I can do that. I can change the color of the title. And again, here are my template colors showing up. So if I've gone into the assets and created my own template, I can access those colors, or I can use the library colors, which are the ones that are automatically in the, oh, other way around. The template colors are the ones that are in the book. The library colors are the colors that I've created, and I can toggle between my templates here. Sorry, I flipped that. So if I wanted to change everything in here to blue and not have that KW red, I can do that really easily. It is just a click and a click. I can also change the photos that are in here. Anytime that you want to change a photo in Command, you're just going to click on that photo to highlight it. You always want to make sure that whatever you want to be editing is highlighted by that blue box. And then I can go over here to Images and go to Workspace. And here are all of the stock images that KW has. Thanks, Gary. I'm going to lose you here. For me to use. Lifestyle, at home, and activities are pictures with actual people in them doing things. So maybe I don't want to use this picture and I want to use, I don't know, this picture instead. Any of the photos that I want to replace, I can just hover over and click on this circle arrow button. If you hover over a photo and you don't see that circle arrow button, it's because you haven't selected something to replace. And if you just hit the plus, it's just going to smack that image right on top of your design. It doesn't do any cropping. It doesn't do any formatting. It just gives you that image. So we want to make sure that we've highlighted the image that we want to replace. Then we choose the replace image button, and it will automatically format that image to fit into that space that we have. Uh-oh. If everyone can make sure you're muted unless you have a question, that would be awesome. All right. Any questions so far about this? Very cool. I recommend that you go through and read every single thing in here because this is your business. And so you need to know what the material that you're giving to your clients says. If you're not totally offended at the idea of wasting paper, it can be helpful to just download this whole thing, print the whole thing, and physically go through it, set the pages that you want to the side, make all your edit marks, and then go through and edit it after the fact.
I have a question.
Yes.
Where you were picking the pictures out of the workspace over there, if we were to go under my assets, we could put, right, anything we had in there, we can
Yep.
bring over too? Okay. I
Yep.
just wanted to make
Anything that you loaded into the images file in My Assets will show up here.
sure. Okay,
Anything that you loaded into the logo section of My
Right.
Assets will show up under logos.
thank you.
Yep. So if you have great photos from listings that you've had in the past, that's a great thing to upload into images because those are unique to you. And you won't have to worry about that repetitiveness of marketing. Any other questions?
This is a simple question. I know that Shelley sent me over the new logo for KW.
Mhm.
So how do I get what she sent me to in command so it will show up?
So you would just download it from the email that she sent to you, download it to your computer,
Uh-huh.
and then you would upload it into that assets section that we were looking at.
Okay.
Now, you also could just add a photo on the fly. So if we were already deep into the editing and you went, oh, there's that photo I wanted to add in, you don't have to go in and add it into your assets tab. You can just upload it right here. Or you can grab it from your Google Drive or directly from your Facebook page.
Okay.
Use that image directly in there.
Anywhere in this presentation, it's gonna, not in this well, in your training, far as designing your business cards, is there a section for that?
There is a place with some business card designs. I'll show you that as soon as we hop out of here. I think they have 1 or 2 business card designs. So you can look at those. I'll be honest with you, the best place to design a business card at this point still probably is something like Vistaprint
Okay.
or moo.com. There's also a website called, it's Realty Cards with a dash. I think it's realty-cards.net or .com. Let me just see real quick. They're my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, realty-cards.com. You can go there and you can go down and go straight to Keller Williams. And then they have hundreds of card options.
Okay.
And the thing about this place that I love is once you pick a card and you put in like your name, your phone number, all the information that they need, you get assigned to a graphic designer who will then reach out to you and you can work with them. So if you say, well, like, hey, I really like this card, but I don't like this font. I'd rather have the font that's on this card. They can do that for you at no charge. So it's really cool. You get your own graphic designer that helps you kind of finalize your card. So kind of off the subject, but on the subject. That was a good question. All right, so going back into editing, we're gonna take a look at this page because this is a page where, as you can see, you have a lot of information to fill in. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get rid of Royal Realtors because that is just a kind of fake team. It's not my team. Then we're gonna edit this information over here. Anytime that you are in designs and you are looking to edit a text block, your best friend is going to be this button up here, this typewriter button. If you highlight the text and then click on the typewriter, it's going to pop open a field on the right-hand side where you can go in and actually edit the information in there. And then it's going to keep all of the formatting so that you don't have to try to reformat and squiggle and wiggle around. And if you've tried it before, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, and you forget about this typewriter, you're going to get frustrated. And then hopefully the typewriter button will pop into your mind and you'll remember. It's just a little difficult to get in and actually edit all of this stuff when it's so tiny on your screen. So you can do all of that here. I'm not going to go through and update all of this. When you're done, you hit save changes and it will just automatically format and save those changes over here for you. To replace the placeholder for DBA name, we're going to click on that and highlight it. You always want to replace this with your Market Center logo. Just like with images, you're going to click on it. And over here, you can just replace and choose that little circle arrow button and replace the logo. Now, if you don't have your Market Center logo yet, you can get it on KW Connect. So if you go to kwconnect.com, go to your resources dropdown, and then go to marketing. You're going to find all kinds of great stuff. Like all kinds of great stuff. So this is a great place to come and explore. But we're going to go right now into logos and branding. The first thing you're going to see is the identity and style guide. This is actually a really fascinating read. And it's a good one for everyone to read because you are required to follow certain marketing guidelines when it comes to Keller Williams. This lays all of that out. It also gives you the hex codes for all the KW colors and information about all the KW fonts. So if you are interested in keeping your branding similar to KW, it's a great resource for that as well. If you keep on scrolling past these very important resources that you should also explore on your own time, you'll get down to the Market Center logos section, and there's a box right here. So you can just put in your Market Center number or your Market Center name. It will pull it up for you, and then you can download all of your Market Center logos. And when I say all, I mean all. It's going to give you the gray and the white on the white and the black on the gray and the red on the gray and the CMYK and the RGB and all of the logos that you could ever possibly need are going to be in there. So that's how you get your logos. You would download them and then you would upload them into your assets section in designs.
Good morning. I have a quick question about this. So
Yeah.
on mine, it's actually grayed out where it says resources. So does that mean I do not have access to it yet?
That is bizarre. And yes, if it's grayed out, that means you won't have access to it, though I can't think of a reason for that. So that sounds like some sort of glitch in the matrix, and you need to get connected with your Market Center tech trainer,
Okay.
and then they can submit a ticket and you guys can figure that out. Your Market Center tech trainer will also have access to your Market Center logos, so they can help you with that in the short term as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so we're back in designs. I'm going to exit out of this section and we're going to look at social media. Does anybody have any questions so far about what we've gone over? All right.
Yes, I do. You said it was KW Command was for the resources and marketing logo, or was that somewhere else?
It's KW Connect.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we're back on our main page in designs. We're going to go to create a design again, and this time we're going to choose social. And continue. This is where all of your social media assets come in, unless it's going to give us an error message and we won't have any. Hang on. All right, never mind. They're there. It was just telling me they weren't there. So here we are. This is our social media section, and these are all of the social media collateral that you can get. Just like in print, it's got across the top these categories So if you know you're looking to do something that will look good on Instagram and Facebook, you can go here and look at square. If you know you're looking for something with a wider angle, you can go to wide. Or if you know you want to do something in stories, we now have stories templates as well. You've got templates for listings coming soon, for sale, just listed, just sold, all the things you can imagine. You've got templates for buyers, you've got stuff for lead generation. This is another one where you just really need to spend time and come in and go into all these categories to really get familiar with what's out there for you. I think there are over 1,500 individual designs in our designs applet. So it's a lot, and it's a lot to spend some time with and go through. And some of it is just fun kind of shenanigans things, and some of it is more focused on listings. They also have,
I have a question.
yeah,
All right, so when you're doing your marketing material and you're trying to farm an area that's already been farmed by a dozen other agents, when you see properties that have been listed or just sold, can we piggyback off that, or that's a complete no-no?
that is a no-no. You can ask around in your market center and find agents who are willing to share their listings with you, and you can market other people's listings within the market center, but you really have to have permission from those listing agents to do any sort of marketing. So you could try, I've had an agent call someone outside of our brokerage in a different brokerage and ask permission to market their listing, and they were absolutely fine with it. And so she was able to go ahead and do that. But you do need to make sure that before you do anything having to do with other people's listings, that you have permission to do that. Does that answer your question? All right.
Yes.
All right, cool. So the other thing we have down here, if you scroll, is holidays, and they've laid out all the holidays for you by month, which is super awesome. So we are in March right now. We can go to March and we can see all the holidays that are coming up. We've got St. Patrick's Day, we've got Equinox, it's Women's History Month. There's something for that. Sometimes you'll find holidays that you actually didn't realize existed. We have a very diverse group of holidays, so it's a great way to kind of educate yourself and learn about that as well. So today we're gonna grab just a quick Happy St. Patrick's Day graphic. I like this cartoon one, so we're gonna grab that one. And if I wanted to post this on my professional Facebook page, all I need to do is come and get this DBA name and replace it. Boom, it's done. I'm ready. I can save this and I can schedule it. We're going to look at campaigns in just a few minutes. I can use campaigns to schedule it to post on St. Patrick's Day. I don't even have to be sitting at my computer on St. Patrick's Day to do it. Now, if I wanted to make this more fun, I could come down here to the animation section and I could animate my graphic. That's going to turn it into a tiny little video that I can also use. So you have animation and element animations. Animation is going to animate the entire graphic. Element animations will animate just specific elements if you choose to. So I could come in and have all the letters tumble in from the side. We're not going to get too deep into this, but it's a really fun one to play with. You can select different elements on a design. You can choose how long you want the video to play, and you can choose how long you want those graphics or those animations to work. So if I wanted the whole animation to bounce in, I could do that. And then that's what it would look like on the Facebook page. So it's just a way to draw a little bit of attention to your things. All right, I'm going to leave this as it is, and I'm going to hit save. And then I'm done. It can be that simple. Okay. Another thing that you can do on the social designs is the local expert. This is another one that is really great if you're targeting an area or if you're looking to just kind of set yourself up as being an economic expert in the area. This one, I recommend people do like every Monday. Go into your MLS, pull the information for how many new listings, how many went under contract, and how many sold. And if you do this on a regular weekly basis, like every Monday, you look at those stats for the previous week, you can really start to build on your page a picture of what the market is looking like. You can also come down and do neighborhood snaps. So just like we did that little video about Belmont, maybe I decide that this month I'm really going to focus on Belmont and I'm going to do a lot of marketing toward them. I can go into any of these. I can choose which one I want. We'll go with this one. I can highlight this neighborhood snapshot here. Go to the KWLS, which is where all of our listings live. Choose snapshots and type in that neighborhood name again. For some reason, it's not letting me type in there. That's odd. I think my computer might be getting a little slowed down with the video and us doing this for 45 minutes here. Typically what you'll be able to do is type in the neighborhood, just like we did for that video. And it will pull up the market statistics for that neighborhood. And so you could come in and just change the name here. Looking to sell in Belmont. Change out your logo. And get that snapshot going in. I don't know why it's not letting me type, but sometimes tech be like that. So we're just going to move on. All right. So as a newer agent, sometimes hosting open houses can be a great way to work your lead gen. I mean, as a seasoned agent, it is also a great way. But as a newer agent, if you don't have your own listings, there are often people in your office that will be happy to let you host an open house in their listing. So reach out and ask. And if you are, let's say, hosting an open house and you want to market it, here is the marketing material for that. We're going to grab one of these. We're going to use this one. And for this one, we actually have a property. So we're going to take advantage of the KWLS and pull the information for that listing directly in. Oh, it's not letting me type in here either. Well, all right. So what should be able to happen, guys, is I should be able to type right here my listing and pull it up, and it will pull the photo and all the information about that listing in, and I can just plug it directly into here. I don't know what's going on right now, and I'm not sure why it's not letting me type in there. So let's try. Going back and doing print. Same situation, you've got an open house coming up. Maybe you're going to go door knock the neighborhood.
I can't type into it either. I don't know if anybody else is having that issue, but it might,
Okay.
I'm just wondering if it's like a whole system thing, because I can't
might
type
be.
either.
There, because we are a live system, meaning they are always updating it and growing it and building it. Every once in a while, you'll run into something where things will be down. It's just tech. It happens. If this was the situation and you were at home and you had an open house flyer that you really wanted to build, I would say, set your computer down, go get some coffee, come back in an hour and try again. I'm going to see how it works with print material here. So maybe if we choose a flyer, it might be different. We'll see. Nope. Looks like the whole KWLS is down, so we're just not gonna be able to take advantage of this today during this class, but what you would do is just type in your listing. Just like with the neighborhood, you are looking in every MLS in the entire country and Canada. And so you need to be specific. It's not gonna be enough to type 123 Main Street. You're gonna need to type 123 Main Street, Charlottesville, Virginia, and potentially even the zip code to pull it up. But once you do that, you can click on the listing and select it, and it will automatically import all the photos from the MLS. So you can easily just switch those photos out, and it'll pull in all the information about the house. So you don't have to toggle back and forth to the MLS and what you're doing. You can just pull the information directly in.
And we're able to use those photos from the MLS? Like there's no legal thing for that?
If you have permission from that agent
Okay,
to market that house, then yes.
right.
All right, well, other than the fact that there is a glitch and we cannot type addresses into that search bar, are there any questions about what we've looked at so far? All right. So the last thing we're going to touch on just real quickly, actually, let me try one more thing. If I check that I want to import the listings right away, you see that little checkbox? When I hit continue, it's going to give me an opportunity to search for an address here. Aha, look at that. There's almost always a workaround.
How did you get to there?
When I went to create the design. Nope. When I went to create the design, I checked this box down at the bottom and just told it from the very beginning, hey, I need to import photos from a listing.
Okay.
And it let me do that here. Hmm. That one must have gotten, I think that one must have gone under contract last night. Things move fast these days. So here's a listing one of our agents has. I've had a conversation. I have permission to market this. I can just go in, I can hit select. Now it's gonna work. We hope. There we go. Now that I put that listing in, when I go to KWLS, it already has those listing photos. So I could go here, click on this photo, go over here, use those circle arrows again, replace that image. Here, same thing. Just replace all three images. Maybe I want one of the backyard. Then I can go over here. Use that typewriter, guys. Remember this typewriter, it's going to be your best friend. Put in the information about the house. Now, if I couldn't remember, I've got too many buttons over down here. If I couldn't remember the information about the house, I can go up here and go to listing details. So here's where all the photos come in. Here's the listing details. Now they do have this little replace button here, but it's not going to format correctly. I do not recommend that you use this to just throw text in by replacing text. For example, the price is $395,000 USD. We're not going to put USD on our flyers, but if you use replace, it's going to automatically do that. It's going to throw off your formatting. But this is a great thing to have up just so that you can pull that information in while you're editing here. So now I know listed at 395,000. Where's my dollar sign? There it is. Yes, someone just raised their hand. Just go ahead and unmute and shout it out.
Yeah, so where do you get the equal housing opportunity sign and the realtor sign to post on that marketing material?
So back in the day, I Googled those images. And I just added them in to my images. You can just Google like PNG equal housing opportunity and 1,000 options will come up in 100 different colors. I had heard rumor that there were some in here already, but I actually don't know where they exist within here.
That is a requirement, correct?
Oh, found them. Yeah, so here it's under logos. In the workspace logos from KW, it's under miscellaneous. So here are those. Yeah, and anytime you guys have questions about what is required on your marketing, ask your broker. Because different areas have different rules, different market centers have different rules. So make sure that you are following your market center rules on all of that.
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
As far as the marketing, and you said that, you know, with permission, you could market other realtors listings. Could
Mhm.
you explain to me the benefit of that for your personal business?
Yeah, so for you, it gives you an opportunity to find interested buyers. Most often, you're going to be finding interested buyers. Now, if you're hosting an open house for another realtor, and you do something like door knocking, you also have the chance to find potential listings down the road, because we know statistically that when one house goes up on the market, another one in that area is going to go on the market soon. For the agent who has that listing, it's just extra marketing. They know that you know people that they don't know. And so if you are marketing their listing, that is a lot more eyes that are getting on their listing than there would be otherwise.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Hello.
Hi, more questions?
Yeah, so I just editing the text on those photos. The easiest way you can do is when you go to the text block, you just double click on the text blocks. On the text block, a window is going to open on your right, and then you click on the typewriter. Then you can edit the text.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. You're saying that also it happens when you double click?
Yeah, because the other time you said you tried to edit it, it was not editing. So I just tried to do it.
Okay. Good. So not really a question, just a helpful extra bit of advice there.
Text box, there's a window that is going to open on your right, and then on that window that is going to open on your right, you can edit anything you want to edit, and then you just take save changes, and then you save on the pictures.
Yeah, this typewriter bubble over here, yeah.
Mm,
Very cool. All right, thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, so the last thing we're gonna look at in designs, and then we're gonna take a quick break before we go into campaigns, is emails. Gonna go create design, we're gonna choose email, and we're gonna hit continue. And this is where we land. Emails is something that is being built out and it is not yet complete. So when you land here, you are going to have 72 templates that you can choose from. You can just keep loading more and more and more and more to see all the templates that are available to you. This is going to be another place that I'm going to go ahead and recommend that you come in here when you have some time to spend and just really click through and get comfortable with what some of these are. Some of them are just kind of classic newsletter style. Some of them are very editable and not really evergreen material. You need to put your own spin on it, but most of these are already put together. Here's one for Happy Spring. Here's a Happy Holidays. There's a Thanksgiving. There was a Valentine's, Happy New Year. So there are some that are kind of holiday based. And then there are some that are specific to lead generation for buyers or sellers, like, you know, how to make the best of your open houses, those kinds of things. So you would just select an email, and then it's going to take you into this viewer where you can view it. All of these merge tags here, these are called merge tags. Anytime you see something with this vertical line and a star and then a something and a star and a vertical line. That's called a merge tag. That means it's going to be automatically pulling that information in from your system and filling it in before it sends the email. So if you wanted to see what the email would look like, you can go over to options and hit preview. And it's going to show you where it's pulled in the logo. And down at the bottom, it's going to show you where it pulled in your information using all those merge tags. So it doesn't actually show up looking like this. These are all merge tags. They're all pulling in information from your marketing profile. Okay. Now there's these buttons over here. You can add and edit and move things in. It is not as intuitive as designs doing social media or print, but it is fairly intuitive. So if you are really interested in sending out emails to your database, this is a place where you can come and explore. Any questions about email? I know we're barely going into it, but it is essentially a plug and play when you're looking at some of these. Here's one just about healthy home.
Can you send mass emails to all your clients?
So this is a way that you can create these emails and then send them out to your database. You just come in, view the email. If you decide this is one that you like, you're going to keep it. Rename it if you need to know what it's talking about, and then hit save, and it will save into your designs library.
And so does that get sent out from like what email address?
So that's going to be based on your, in the first day when we were looking at settings and we went down to manage that command mail, any email that we're sending out through campaigns is going to go out through your command email.
Okay.
And when you go there and go to manage, you're going to put down your name and then you're going to have your
And that's the reply to. Okay.
reply to, and you can add an email. If you don't want it to be your KW email for some reason, you can add one in and have it be a different email as well.
Okay.
All right. So that's designs. I'm going to give us like a 5-minute break. Let's just get back here. Let's make it a slightly longer break. We'll get back at 10:10 and we'll go ahead and jump into campaigns next. If you guys have questions about designs when we get back, we can answer those. So go ahead, that's 7 minutes. We'll take a 7-minute break, get your coffee, use the bathroom, jump around a little bit, get your blood flowing, and I'll see you guys back here at 10:10.
Hello.
Hey, Claude, did you have a question?
Yeah, sorry, I joined late. Because where I was, there was I could not do it at home. A lot of noise, so I had to move to where I work sometimes. So in order to join, I actually joined very late. Can I get the recording, please?
Could you what?
Are you recording the
Yes,
training?
this is
Okay.
recorded and it's gonna go on our YouTube channel. I can put the link to that YouTube channel directly in the chat for you.
Oh, great! Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Mm.
There you go. The link is in there now.
Okay, great.
This recording, today's recording will probably not be up until tomorrow
Okay.
at some point, but you can always go back and watch that.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, it is 10:10 on the dot. We're going to get back into it and go into campaigns. Before we do, are there any lingering questions about designs? Go ahead and shout them out if you have them. All right, so we're going to jump into campaigns. Campaigns is this little megaphone here, and campaigns is how we push our marketing out. So when you land on the campaigns dashboard, across the top of the page here, you're going to see our different tabs. We have a tab for paid ads. This is where you will pay for advertisement on Facebook and Instagram. Any advertisements on Facebook, you can use a lead generation form and try to get leads from those ads. Just as a disclaimer, these ads that are showing here as completed, we were not trying to get leads. We were simply sending them to a place to apply for a job. So we got a lot of impressions, a lot of clicks, but we weren't trying for leads, so we got 0. Emails is where you'll go to send out those emails. Direct mail is where you will go to send out postcards if you were to be farming a neighborhood. And social post is where you can schedule out any social posts for your Facebook page into the future. So we're going to start with social post because it's free and it makes your life a whole lot easier. This is where those holiday designs come in really handy because holidays are set. You know what day all the holidays for the rest of this year are happening. You can go in and you can schedule them to automatically post. So I believe that St. Patrick's Day is March 11th. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure St. Patrick's Day is on the 11th.
17th.
Oh, 17th. What's happening on the 11th? Something. All right, 17th. So here we are on March 17th. If I wanted to post my St. Patrick's Day post for March 17th without having to actually remember to do it on that day, I can come to the calendar here. You can view it by week or by month. And the days that are available to post are below it. So I can go to March 17th, create a social post. And it's going to give me this beautiful blank page. The first thing I'm going to do is say, hey, I want an image in this post. So I'm going to browse my designs library, or I could upload an image. And here's my St. Patrick's Day post that we made earlier. It's just going to automatically pull that image in for me. You know, just like with most of,
Excuse me for 1 minute, but I'm no longer seeing your page you were sharing. Did I hit something or?
I think you've hit something. Can everyone else see my page?
I'm good.
Okay, but you can just go ahead on. I'll catch up. I'll figure out what it is. Thanks.
Okay, try sometimes if you go and just re-hit the Zoom icon, depending on what computer you're on. If you're on a Mac and you go and hit the Zoom icon in your bar, sometimes that'll pop that Zoom screen right back up.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So now I'm gonna crop my image. It's gonna tell you that square is best for most placements. In this situation, I want the wide because I want the whole picture to show, so I'm gonna choose that. And I'm posting this on Facebook. The wide placement is great for Facebook. Then it's gonna show my image. So as I'm building out my ad over here on the left, it's gonna show my ad on the right and show me what it looks like, both on my Facebooks. So here's where I would put my text. Maybe it's just as simple as Happy St. Patrick's Day. Now, anytime you're doing a post or an ad on social media, the rules tell us that people love emojis. The rule is about 3 to 5 emojis per post. They grab attention and somehow they work. So maybe I want to do a little 4-leaf clover there. And somewhere around here, there's some sort of rainbow and pot of gold. I'm not going to spend the time to look for that unless it pops out at me right away. But maybe I want to add that emoji in here as well. I think there's like a pot of gold something. So you can add some emojis. You do that with this little button down here. And then you can see over here how that's showing up on the right-hand side. Now I've already got my DBA logo on this image, so I don't need it placed. If you know that you are just creating designs and you're going to schedule them out through your Facebook post, you don't even have to replace that DBA name. You can delete the DBA name and then have your logo go in that way on the left or the right hand side. You want to always include that ownership statement. It's just going to give you tiny little print there. And then you can schedule your post. I want to do it at March 17th, and I want everyone to think that I'm like a super early bird, so I want it to post at 7 a.m. Below that, it's going to show the business page that you're connected to. You want to make sure that that box is checked, and then you just hit schedule post, and that post will go ahead and be scheduled to go to your page directly. So you don't even have to worry about it on that day. It can just happen. And you can do this for Christmas, and you can do it for St. Patrick's Day and Easter and any of the holidays that you know are coming up. You also have in Social Post the ability to use these quick posts. Quick posts are ads that are, or posts that are already put together for you by KW. You can shuffle through and see all the different options. And if you find one that you love, all you have to do is click this little share button to the right. And it's going to pull up the same page, but it's going to be already filled in for you. It's that quick. And there they have their 3 emojis. So you can also schedule posts that way. Quick posts are fun. Some of the quick posts are for Keller Mortgage. Make sure that you have an understanding with your brokerage about marketing Keller Mortgage. Some brokerages are not doing that, some are. So just check in with your broker on that. All right, that is Social Post. Next, we're going to look at paid ads. And we do have a partnership with Facebook, which means that when you are doing paid ads, you get a larger ad spend. Here's how that works. Keller Williams has one ad spend account with Facebook, which means that if I put a $50 ad in on one day, and in the same 24-hour period, 1,000 other Keller Williams agents also place a $50 ad, then our 24-hour ad spend on our Facebook account as a whole is $50,000. That is a lot of money, and it's going to get a much higher performing algorithm than just my $50 alone ever would. So I still get my same slice of the pie. I get my $50 worth of leads, but my pie is much bigger because of the way that we've partnered with Facebook. So that doesn't have to make perfect sense to you. Just know that when you're advertising through command on Facebook, you get a much higher bang for your buck than if you were to just go through Facebook as an individual. So we're going to go in here and we're going to say, hey, we want to create a campaign. And we want to create a social advertisement. We want to give it a name. We want that name to make sense. In this case, we're going to be marketing a home. So I'm going to put the home address in there. What is your goal right now? The goal is really just for you to know what you were trying to do with an ad so that when you go back and you look at your ads, you know what your goal was. In this case, I want to advertise a listing. And I can do it on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or I can do it on just the one. Now, if your goal is to get leads, you're gonna wanna do Facebook for sure. Facebook is the only one of these three that has an automatic lead generation form where you're gonna pull in leads. If you want some money to go to brand awareness, then you can go on Instagram and Twitter and build your brand there, but you're not gonna be getting leads from those options. Because I told it I wanted to advertise a listing, it's gonna automatically pull in this little place where I can put that listing in, just like we did with our social media collateral. There's our listing that we're gonna market, and we're gonna select it. Okay, so what it's gonna do is it's automatically gonna pull that photo from the MLS. It's also gonna automatically pull in the beginning of the description in the MLS. Sometimes agents can get really poetic in their descriptions, and the description is just the perfect Facebook text, and you just can leave it as it is. Most of the time, the text from the MLS is gonna be pretty dry and descriptive, and you're gonna wanna jazz it up. You have 250 characters available to you here. Sometimes less is more. I think we did a lab, and the most high performing ad was a picture of a log cabin, and it said, you could live in a log cabin. And that was it. There wasn't a ton of text. So don't stress out trying to come up with the perfect prose for your ad. It can be something as easy as check out this move in ready Palmyra. And then of course I'm going to add some emojis. So maybe I'll do those eyeballs. Check it out. No, I don't want those at the end here. I want them at the beginning. So I'm going to cut them, just paste them into the beginning. Maybe here I'm going to put a little home emoji. You get the point. We're not going to spend too much time on emojis, but they're important. So have fun with them. The headline is going to go right here. Again, just like with the post, it's going to build it out as you go. So this is the headline. This is where it goes. That's the one that you want really to be attention grabbing. So, you know, you could live here. How about that? You only have 25 characters here, so it needs to be short and sweet. Then below that is the description. Here, they have suggestions, so you can shuffle through some suggestions. If you find one that you like, you can click the button and just use that one. Or you can put in your own description. Now, it does say below here that the description may not show in all instances of your ad. Facebook has all kinds of intelligent algorithms that really can fine tune an ad as it's rolling to make sure that it's getting in front of enough eyes and people are clicking on it. And so usually what they will do is they will start your ad off with the description showing. If your ad is low performing, they will remove the description and they will then post it from there without the description. Humans are funny creatures, and sometimes we don't like to read words. So this is the place where you want something, but you want to make sure that what you're putting here isn't your best copy and that perfect statement. If you have something that you want to make sure shows up every time, it needs to go up here in the main copy. What I usually put down in the description is something like, you know, this 3-bed, 2.5 bath home is being offered at, and then the price, because people always like to see the price and a little bit of details about the home before they're clicking on it. So once you've gotten that set and it looks the way you want it to look over here, you can hit save. And then you're going to go to media next. It has a green checkbox on it because it did pull in this first picture, but you can go in from here and you can add more if you want. If you've got a listing with a lot of great photos and you want to do a carousel, you can go in and you can choose up to 5 images to display. There's that logo again. Now, because we're pulling these images directly from the MLS, we don't have our logo stamped on them. So this is really important. You want to make sure that that's there. And you can choose whether that logo shows up on the left-hand side of the photo or the right-hand side of the photo. Sometimes that makes a difference if you have a photo that's really dark in one corner or light in a corner. Include that ownership statement anytime you're marketing a property. If you have questions about compliance in your marketing, ask your broker. Then we're going to go to the Facebook and Instagram settings. Now, I did choose to run this on Facebook and Instagram, mostly because I wanted to show you what that looks like when you get the form. So here, the first thing it's going to do, it's connected to my personal Facebook page. Because it's connected to my personal Facebook page, it knows the business pages that I'm running. So the first thing I'm going to do is choose the business page that I want it to post on. Most of the time, you guys are just going to have one business page and you'll just pull that up. Then you want to say where it's showing up. In Instagram, do you want it to show up in the feed or in the story? You can choose. This is the important one. Destination. Where are they going after they click this button? If they go nowhere, they're going to be really upset. So what we want to always choose, if your goal is to get leads, is to choose the Facebook lead generation form. Now, you guys have probably seen a Facebook lead generation form before. Anytime you click on something and get a little pop-up that says, before you go any further, you have to agree to share your information with this third party. That is the Facebook lead generation form. It does not require anyone to fill anything out. It just requires a simple click of a button and they get to go where they want and you captured their information. And we know that humans will do this because even when we knew that certain apps on Facebook were like spyware, people were still choosing to use them. They still wanted to Disneyfy their family. They didn't care. So Facebook lead generation forms work. After they click, yes, I will share my information, they need to land somewhere. That's what this website URL is for. So what I'm going to recommend that you do is go to your website. Find that listing. Open up the unique page for that listing and grab that URL. This way, when people say, hey, I want to learn more, they're landing on your website where they can learn everything they need to learn about this house. And they're now on your website. So they can choose to reach out to you directly, or they can just stay on your website and keep searching homes and hopefully eventually register and become connected to you through your website. So we're going to grab that URL and we're going to go over here. We're going to paste it in. It's going to verify that that URL is correct. So give it a second. If you paste a URL and it is not showing up as being correct, it is probably because you went in and pasted it and you have 2 HTTPS's here. So just scroll back to the beginning and erase that first one, and then you'll be fine. Next, we're going to target our audience. Now, I've heard different views on this, so we're going to talk about that. The first view that I've heard is that we really want to go in and add interest and do at a minimum Zillow.com. Zillow. Make sure you choose Zillow, not Premier Agent Zillow. If you choose this, you're going to be advertising to other real estate agents. You don't want to spend your money on that. And then add in also Realtor.com. So Facebook is really smart. If you haven't figured out yet that they're tracking every move you make, this is This is your bubble bursting moment. Facebook tracks every move that you make. So they know if you're looking at homes on the internet, they know that you're doing that. If you're visiting these sites, they know that you're doing that. If you slow your scroll when you're on Facebook to see a house, they know that you slowed your scroll to look at that house. So some people say you should, hey, put in these two because you're going to get in front of eyes of people that are looking for looking on the internet for real estate. Other people I've heard say they have a great success just letting Facebook algorithms take over and do the heavy lifting. So it really depends on you. This is a case of just doing ads, seeing what's working, reinventing your wheel if you need to, and then pushing it out again. I personally do Zillow and Realtor.com when I place ads. The other thing to think about is the location that you're marketing to. Palmyra, Virginia is close to the edge of the area that we service. So I don't really want to target 25 miles to the east of Palmyra, Virginia. I'm now out of my market and I'm advertising to people who live in Richmond. What I want to do is stick with the area that I serve. So I'm going to change this to Charlottesville. And then I'm going to go 30 miles outside of Charlottesville. So now I know that I'm getting people that live in Palmyra and around that area, but I'm also advertising to get leads from people that are in the area that I service. So think about where you service and where that listing might be as you're doing your targeting. The next thing we're going to look at is lead settings. So after those leads come in, what do you want the system to do with them? Well, the first thing that I want them to do is put in a tag. It's going to be Facebook 51 Kathy Court, because I want to know instantly who came from this ad. Create new tag. Maybe I also have created a smart plan that is specifically for following up on Facebook ads. So if I had one of those, I would want to automatically assign them to a smart plan. This is a great use of smart plans. I always recommend people have a smart plan for Facebook ads where the first thing that happens is a text goes out that says something like, thank you so much for your interest in my post on Facebook. I would love to talk to you about your real estate needs, but cannot get to the phone right now. I will be in touch with you as soon as I possibly can. That way you get that speed to lead. They hear from you. They know there's a person on the other side of that house, but you buy yourself a little bit of time so that you don't have to spend your day just sitting and waiting for leads to come in. You have a little bit of time to get to the phone and actually make those calls. You still have to call them, but get those smart plans set up so that your speed to lead time is cut down. Then we're going to be looking at duration and budget. The recommended duration is 10 days. And the recommended budget per channel is a minimum of $1 per day. So if you want to run your ad for 10 days on 2 channels at $1 a day, you're looking at 20 bucks. We'll say, hey, that's all we want to do for this ad. If you're going to run an ad and you only want to run that ad for 1 or 2 days, you're better off saving your money. Somewhere between 5 to 10 days is probably best. Now we have an ad that we were running. We chose to run it for 10 days, but that house has gone under contract, as often will happen in the market that we're in. So today we're getting ready to end that campaign. We will only have spent the money that we spent. All of the money that was saved because we're ending that campaign earlier will go into our Facebook credits and we'll be able to spend it on another ad. Below our budget, because we've chosen multiple channels, we get the option to distribute evenly across the channels or to use automatic placement for Facebook and Instagram ads. I recommend that if you're doing it across multiple channels, you use this automatic placement. What that's going to do ultimately is put more money toward the area where your ad is performing better. Does that make sense? And so this is really allowing that algorithm to do what it's built to do and put your ad in the place where it's going to have the biggest impact. Once you've figured out all your payment information, you're going to hit save. And then you can publish the campaign. Boop, boop. This does go through the regular Facebook channels as far as the process. So it does have to go into a review. Your ad will not publish immediately. It will publish the day after you create it. Usually sometime after midnight. So you wake up in the morning and you've already got leads in your inbox. Any questions about placing a Facebook ad? All right.
So if you know that you're going live, let's say on a Wednesday, you can go ahead and set this up on a Tuesday. So that way, as soon as you go live, this is already in the works.
Yes. You're going to need to check with your broker about the official timing with that, because you don't want your ad to start running at midnight if you're not going active until 5 p.m. the next day. If there's a problem with the timing of that with your broker. So check in about clear cooperation and all of those rules. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. So those are paid ads. You can do a paid ad on Facebook without having a listing. One of the ways that I do that is go to your website, type in your area. Maybe I want to look in Albemarle County, so I'm going to look at Albemarle County Public Schools to grab the shape of, here's my county. Then I can go over to more, scroll all the way down to the bottom and do open house only. Whew, we don't have a lot of open houses in our MLS right now. So what I have now is the potential to grab this URL and post an ad about all the open houses in your area. See all the open houses in your area with the click of a button. Another thing you could do, maybe when the weather warms up, is find all the homes in the area with a pool. You could post a link for that. View all the homes in your area with a pool. Okay, so you can get creative. Look at this beautiful $8 million home. Whew. You can get creative with the ads that you're placing. Okay, next we're going to look at emails. Remember, we created that healthy home email in our designs. So now we're going to go to create a campaign. Oh, let me just real quick segue, guys. You cannot create any of these paid campaigns, like a paid ad on Facebook, until you have a credit card on file. So go to payments. It's in the far right. This is where you would add your credit card. Any credit card on file is only being billed directly by Facebook. You're not paying KW anything. And this is also where, if you have credits because an ad ended early, it'll show you your remaining credits here. So that's payments. All right, so getting back into email, we're going to create an email campaign. Create campaign, choose email. Again, you're going to give it a title. Our goal is brand awareness. And we're running this through command email. Now here we are. Very similar to the rest of them. On the left-hand side is where we're going to build it out. On the right-hand side is where it's going to show up. First thing we're going to do is select our design. And here it is. Classic Healthy Home. It's the most recent one that I created. It's going to show you the design, give you a chance to do any sort of last minute edits. You're going to save it, and now it's going to show you your email on the right-hand side. That's as simple as that. Now you have to create a list. So who are you emailing this to? A healthy database is a tagged database. So the best way to create a list is to go in and use tags to pull up your list of people. I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna pull everyone with a demo tag, I'm gonna select them all. I'm gonna call this list demo email list. And I'm gonna hit save. Now I have a list of people that I'm sending it to. Confirming where it's sending from. Then I'm gonna put in my subject line. I don't know, something like that. As a general rule in your subject lines, you want to avoid too many exclamation points. Those tend to get picked up as spam more often. So don't go too crazy with your exclamation points, but get a good subject in there, something that is a little eye-grabbing. And then we're done. We've already updated our design. We have that selected here. And so we could either schedule it or go ahead and just send it right out. If you want to send a test email to yourself, you can just choose to send that test email. When you're ready, schedule or send. Okay. That's how you do email campaigns. It's really simple. I think the trickiest thing about email campaigns is really getting familiar with those email templates and designs because they don't currently have thumbnail reviews. It's really just about setting some time aside, going through and opening them up and really actually looking at them and learning what they are. Do we have any questions about anything that we've covered so far today? All right. So the last thing that we're going to look at is direct mail. This is where you come to send out postcards. Postcards cost money. You can send them out directly through the system. It's super awesome, but we don't really recommend that people start doing geo farming until they have money coming in. So if you're a brand new agent, you want to keep your focus on social posts, free, emails, free. And if you're going to spend money, put it over here on the paid ads where we're doing online lead generation. Studies show that in order for geo farming to work, which is where you send a regular postcard to a specific area, you have to do it consistently every single month for a year. So before you start jumping into doing direct mail, please make sure that you have the budget to keep up with it for the full year. Otherwise, you're just essentially throwing money out the window. Okay. So we're in direct mail. We're going to go create a campaign and we're going to choose a direct mail campaign. Again, I'm going to use the same. Use the same listing. We're going to advertise a listing. We're going to create the campaign. Choose all listings because this isn't my listing. Find it again and hit select. And it's going to automatically pull that information in. On the right-hand side, we're going to see the template postcard, front and back. On the left-hand side, we're going to be able to build it out. There are different templates that you can use, so you can skip through and see what those look like. They are different sizes. The larger the postcard, the more expensive the postcard. So keep that in mind as you're going through as well. It's going to pull in all the MLS information. So you just want to confirm that it's correct. And then here we have up to 350 characters. I've got 793, so I've obviously gone way over. This is, again, just like that Facebook ad where it's going to pull the description from the MLS. You can use that but it's probably not going to be the most eye-catching poppy kind of description. So you might want to go in and update that. The description falls on the back of the card. So you can go in there and you can see what that's looking like. I would probably change this. Then we're going to choose the listing photo. Remember, we've pulled in all of the photos directly from the MLS, so we can choose one of those. They are going to tell you that the image, the quality of the image is a little bit low for a postcard. So if you are doing mailings and you want to use a listing, if it's your listing, you're going to have the original photos. That's awesome. If it's not your listing, you're probably going to want to prep yourself by asking that listing agent to send you their lead photo and use that and just upload that image directly in here. Then it has my information. That's all correct. So I'm just going to hit save. Then I'm going to go into my branding for my market center, make sure that that's all correct. Need to select the state. We're going to verify the address. Targeting is going to automatically target homes around that home. If you know that you are targeting a different area, you can put that in here. If you wanted to target your database, like you were just sending this postcard out to people in your database and you have their physical addresses, you need that part. You can choose that option as well. And then you're going to set up your budget. I want, I guess at this point we'll do 200 postcards, 64 cents per postcard, $128 total. Then I'm going to hit save. And I'm going to go to configure targeting. This is where it gets really cool. Now that I've created my postcard, it's going to pull up that home, this listing address, 51 Kathy Court in Palmyra County. And it's going to pull 200 unique addresses surrounding that home. Or we're going to wait and it's not going to do anything. We'll see if it comes in. You have the option, once you get those 200 unique addresses, to change and filter how you want to send out your postcards. So you can say, hey, I want to send this postcard to 200 homes nearby this address, but I only want to market people who have lived in their home for more than 5 years. Because my ultimate goal is to get listings, and people that have lived in their home less than 5 years are less likely to list. Then that targeting is going to expand out and you're going to get to a larger, hey.
Yesterday, he said that in his database, it just occurred to him to make military separate from, well, he already did that, but actually mentioning this is the PC, expect PCS.
Barbara, are you asking a question?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't
Oh, that's
realize.
okay. I was waiting for a question. I wasn't sure. So here we have the 200 homes closest to this home. And here we have my filters. So I could say, hey, I only want to market to people whose homes last sold 2015 or earlier. And then it's going to rechange that targeting. Maybe I only want to target people whose homes last sold for, I don't know, 240,000 plus. Then it's going to pull me out and I'm going to have a broader area that I'm marketing to. So you can really get detailed with that. Then when you're done, you're going to hit, you can choose to send a copy to yourself. It's going to cost 64 extra cents to do so, but I recommend that you do so that you know what your clients are getting. Then you're going to hit next. And then you'll go through the process of setting up and making that payment.
Is there an option to like pull any addresses out? Like once it makes that like list of 200 homes or whatever surrounding a certain area, what if you know like you know, something about a
Like a
certain house
realtor
or
lives in one
address,
of those
you don't
homes.
want, yeah, you don't want it included. Can you filter that
isn't.
out or no? No,
No.
okay.
That's a good question, though. All right. So we've now gone through creating all your marketing collateral and designs. We've looked at pushing that collateral out through paid ads, email campaigns, direct mail, and social media posts. We talked about how you have to get your payments set up before you can do any sort of paid ads. And that basically wraps us up and brings us to the Q&A section of the day. Does anybody have questions about anything that you've gone over so far in all of these command trainings? All right. Well, if we don't have any questions, I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes back in your day and we'll go ahead and wrap it up 10 minutes early. I'm going to brag
Thank
to
you.
David about that. Absolutely. Thank you. You guys have a great day and have a lot of fun getting into designs and playing around.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Wendy.